Hi, this is Jeff Altman, the Big Game Hunter, and you are listening to the No BS Coaching Advice Podcast. I do this show regularly with advice for people about life, the universe, and everything. And today, let me just start off with a quote that came to mind. It's from the movie Inherit the Wind, which is about the Scopes trial. There's a point where the character Henry Drummond is speaking to it's basically Clarence Darrow is the part, but the character's named Henry Drummond, and then there's the William Jennings Bryan character whose name is Matthew Brady in the movie. Great cast. If you've never seen it, it is worth watching. It's rarely on TV. You get to see it on Netflix or Amazon Prime, but if you have the opportunity to rent it from a library or see it sometime, definitely a movie worth watching. Here's the quote. Progress has never been a bargain. You have to pay for it. Sometimes I think there's a man who sits behind a counter and says, all right, you can have a telephone, but you lose your privacy and the charm of distance. Madam, you may have the vote, but at a price. You lose the right to retreat behind the powder puff or your petticoat. Mister, you may conquer the air, but the birds will lose their wonder, and the clouds will smell of gasoline. Great and powerful quote that basically tells you there's a price for every choice that we make. To choose positively or to avoid choice, there is a price that we pay. And for me personally, I want to pay the price from choice to take action, not the choice to avoid action. I was coaching someone this morning who's interviewing for a role with a technology firm. Great job she's up for, and she was giving me decent basic answers, but I could sense there was something she was holding back. And there was a point where I said to her, to get this job, you're going to need to risk everything. You can't be ordinary and get this job because there's a lot of ordinary people out there. You're going to just have to risk it all. And then as we practiced the answer to the next question, she told me a story that brought me to tears. She had answered that same question right before I gave her that comment, and suddenly her answer changed. And it was spectacular. Folks, there are times in life where you have to risk it all and where you're going to have to pay that price and risk losing the charm of distance and risk losing the right to retreat behind the powder puff or petticoat. Where it's important to step up and play big in the world. Because the consequence is, the or else is regret. Regret that you didn't take the chance. Regret that you didn't risk it all. There's someone I know who was being considered for a role with a not-for-profit, and he was being evaluated by a panel of his potential peers, and walked into the room and gave a very solid performance. But they weren't looking for solid. He told me the feedback included someone telling him that he seemed like he was presenting to a boardroom, and that wasn't what they were looking for. Folks, you're going to have to risk progress, and progress involves paying a price. We all have to pay for it in some way, and going safely will keep you in that safe place that you've been in for so long. Risk it all. I hope you found this helpful. If you did, I hope you give it 5 stars in iTunes, or I should say Apple Music, Stitcher, wherever you're listening to this show. And also leave us a great review. I greatly appreciate it. and some encouragement about coming back more frequently. My coaching practice has gotten very busy, so it's been hard for me to make time to do the show, let alone upload it to my website. But I'll just say, folks, if you'd like me to coach you, connect with me on LinkedIn at linkedin.com/IN/the Big Game Hunter. And then once we're connected, mention that you listen to the show, that you have some questions that you'd like me to coach you around. I look forward to helping you. Hope you have a great day. Take care.
The podcast you just heard was recorded with Anchor. If you want to make your own, download the Android or iOS app completely free from anchor.fm/podcast. That's anchor.fm/podcast.